Now, classic cars can look so good tinted, but the process of tinting them is a pain in the... What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Away from Fade to Black, man. Thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. Now, I want to talk quickly about tinting classic cars, all right? So, I think classic cars, some of them can look really good with tint on them. Now, this 69 Z28 was incredible. I'm going to show you guys some footage of this thing. This car was immaculate. Fully restored. I mean, this thing is awesome. I think even being able to work on it was pretty much a privilege if you think about it. Now, the customer restored this car from ground up, had everything done. I mean, the paint, the interior, man, it was incredible. As I'm sure you guys will see here in a few minutes. Now, one thing I want to talk about with a lot of classic cars is it's tough to tint them. It's not like it's just a new modern day Chevy Camaro or anything like that where you have dot matrix to work around. You know, the back window has black borders and stuff like that so you can get your tint and hide it behind there. It's a whole different ball game. Now, I talked to a lot of my tint guys around Wisconsin, and we all kind of agree that tinting some cars is just a major frustration. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was about ready to throw my hands up on this car because some of the things you have to deal with. So let's talk about some of those right now. All right, so first thing, and I'm not gonna say it's the case with this car, but some of the things with classic cars that you have to deal with. Some of the chrome trim that comes around the window, some of the chrome trim holds a little bit of debris and contamination in there. And you can try to clean that out as much as you can, but sometimes it's hard not to get any of it in your tint install. So that's one of the things you gotta deal with. Another thing, back glass. The black glass usually has that black glue around the windows when they put the windows back in. And usually it's not a really straight glue that gets laid down on the glass. So, you know, it might wave, it might come into the glass area that you're trying to hide the tint behind. Now, you don't wanna be hacking that stuff up a lot and cutting it and just doing that inside of a customer's car, you know, so you kind of deal with it. Sometimes you got to get your piece cut on the outside as best you can, take the piece of tint inside and try to get it lined up around some of that glue as best you can, but you might end up trimming. So then if you end up trimming too much, you could cut into your film and ruin it, have a light gap, and that will ruin that whole piece of tint, and you're gonna have to do it over again. Now, I'm gonna admit to you guys, I did the back window over twice in this car, trying to get it looking good, trying to get it so it just doesn't have light gaps and make it look as good. So I did it twice, and the owner and I were happy with the second time the way it came out, and then we were good to go with that. Now, another thing with doing these cars is some of the corner windows. Some of the corner windows in some of these older cars, they like to shift when you roll them down. So what happens is you can never get really deep back into the back of that corner glass to get a nice clean cut on there. So I'm gonna tell you guys, it took me more time than I can count to get these corner windows done. And they have the chrome channel around those corner windows, which it just hides contamination in there. So you clean, paper towel, you clean as best as you can, but it is really tough to do those. So you might have to end up doing those windows over a few times to get them to come out clean. It's frustrating. It's not like it's a Chevy Cruze or something where you can just cut it out, pop that piece in, and be good to go. No, it doesn't work that way. And then another thing you might deal with is some of the seals. Being an older car, you gotta realize they might not be as flush or as straight as a brand new car that came off the showroom 2 years ago, you know what I mean? Or a few years ago. It's just something you gotta deal with. They're just not made the same, they're different. So you kinda gotta adjust what you do to be able to get that tint installed in those windows and looking good. So it's just a different ball game. You know, this is some of the things you gotta work on. Some of the older cars have those vent windows in the front of the driver's doors. Those can be a pain too. You gotta try to cut it, trim it. You have no matrix to hide behind. You have to really have a clean edge on your tint. So it gets a little tough. You know, I'll be the first one to admit that it does get frustrating at times trying to get those clean cuts because it's different than, let's say, a car from 5 years ago. All those things might not have been the case on this car. This car was incredible. This car, I mean, the motor, the interior, the body, it's sitting on coilovers. The car is just insane. One thing that amazed me about this car is I could stand right in front of the engine on this thing and you did not hear a sound. You didn't hear a sound. The engine was so quiet, and the owner restored this engine and rebuilt this engine himself, so he knows all about it. The engine looked like an art piece that you wanted to have on display. That's how beautiful this engine was. I mean, I just can't even believe right now how quiet and how smooth that engine sounds. Now you walk around back, you hear them dual exhaust just gunning back there, just sound crazy. And I have a cold start. in this video as well. So this car was just amazing. I have to admit, it's probably one of the most amazing classic cars I have ever got the privilege to tint. So I'm gonna show you some footage of this car right now, man. Like I said, this car is off the hook, crazy. This is one of the most badass Camaros that I have ever seen. So I want you guys to check it out. So once again, you never know who is gonna call you and asking you if you can do something. With the classic cars, I usually try to be upfront with my customers and say, hey, it's gonna be a struggle, it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be hard to get it to come out just as a newer car from a couple years ago, because they're just made differently. It's different things you have to do, but it is a challenge. And thanks to the owner for letting me tint this car. He has a beautiful car. He restores Camaros, so he knows what he's doing, man. He's on his A game. Awesome guy. If you like this video, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this Camaro. Give it a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you do not miss any notifications. And I'll be back with another video. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay faded. Peace.